Hi, this is your friend Tammy, and welcome to the first episode of Touching Lives. I am so excited about this episode because my guest speaker is doing a remarkable job giving back to our community as a language activist. Pardon. She's the founder of Speak Ekpeye Freely Language Initiatives. She is a skilled digital marketer and writer. She serves as a repertoire for the ADHOC Group of Digital Equality and Domains for United Nations International Decade for Indigenous Languages. Without further ado, let me introduce her, Franca Umasoye Igwe. Hello, Umasoye. I hope I got your pronunciation right. How are you today? Lovely to have you on Touching Lives podcast episode. Please, can you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me. And yes, you pronounced it correctly. I think you've pretty much introduced me. Just to add, it's the Speak Fluently Language Initiative. I'm a digital marketer and also an advocate for indigenous languages, just like Tammy said, starting with my language.
Okay. So for our listeners, Ekpeye language is the language spoken in the South-South geopolitical zone in Nigeria by Ekpeye people. The Ekpeye community are domiciled in Outer East and part of Outer West in Rivers State, Nigeria. So my first question to you, Umasoye, tell us about Speak Ekpeye Friendly Language Initiative.
Okay, thanks for the question. So the Speak Ekpeye Fluently Language Initiative is a non-profit organization committed to creating Ekpeye language resources and digitizing the language. So part of what we do is we create short courses and we share Ekpeye content mostly on social media to inspire people to speak the language and all of that. And also we have resources where people can learn the language online.
Okay. How did this vision come about? I mean, how did it come to life? What inspired you? Yeah, it's true.
Okay. So if you ask, okay, 5 years ago, I wouldn't. If someone told me I would be on this path, I wouldn't have believed because at this time, 5 years ago, I was working as a photographer and I was studying agricultural extension and development. So it's somehow mysterious that I am in this field today because I mean most people usually ask me if I'm a linguist or if I studied in the humanities.
Okay.
So this started what we have today started as it started off as a random conversation I was having with someone on campus. I studied at Rivers State University. So one day I was having a conversation with someone I had met at front of the shopping complex, and the person happened to be from my ethnic group.
Okay.
So I tried to initiate a conversation with her in a way, being that this person is my way. And then at the time I was serving in my ethnic house at the RFA on campus. So part of my responsibility was to bring fellow students who were from my ethnic house to the Ekpeye house. So usually if I come across Ekpeye students, I want to have conversations with them in Ekpeye, part of as a representative of the house. So I noticed that the girl didn't understand what I was saying. I was speaking in Ekpeye and she was understand and she couldn't even speak. So I said, oh, okay. Nonetheless, I still invited her to join us for our ethnic meetings and all of that. So then I just had an idea that maybe we could have a tutorial in school, to help people who want to learn and just help our fellow student staff of my peers to learn the language since most persons don't know and it's meeting them from coming for ethnic meetings. So that was just how the idea started. And can we do something around this? Maybe let's have a get together, sit somewhere in campus and just have a language exchange session in school. So what to see what we can do. We had lockdown, and there was holidays, a very long holiday, like because of the COVID. So in April 2020, one day I was at home still during the COVID lockdown, and I thought, okay, since what we planned for didn't happen, and I mean we have lots of time now in our hands, and we're at home, maybe we can have an online session and just have a class with interested students. So that was just how the idea came to mind, and immediately I went on Facebook. I reached out to some persons that were very fluent in language, and most persons I knew on Facebook. I mean, most of them I don't even know them beyond Facebook, and I just reached out to them and said, "Oh, this is what I'm planning. Would you like to come on board and teach?" And the people I reached out to were just saying, "Oh yes, I'd love to. I mean, love to share what they know." That was how we just created it. When you knew it, I mean, people had a full group, and we could not admit more persons. And then WhatsApp had a group limit of 256 participants. And it was also shared to the Ekpeye and diaspora communities. And if we are joining, we had a session. The class lasted for 5 days. And
Okay.
I remember having the first that edition as Speak Ekpeye in 5 days. That was what we tagged that. I mean, it was very catchy. But I mean, now come to think of it, who is going to learn Ekpeye in 5 days, right? So, we did it, and we got a lot of feedback. I mean, I didn't see that coming. We had a lot of positive reviews. I mean, people have always wanted this. I'm not sure people have ever had an online class like that. I don't know, but we had really good feedback. And so initially when this happened, I mean, it was just supposed to be a one-off class, and everybody goes back to their normal life, because I mean, I didn't plan on doing full time. So I mean, I'm grateful for the people I met back then. I met people like Dr. Gazoma Okoroba, I met Miss Sharon Obuzo. I mean, these are people that helped me to put things in perspective. Dr. Gazoma told me, do I plan to do this just one or like, if you really want to make positive impact, I mean, nobody learns the language in 5 days. It has to be a continuous process. Yes. So that was how I realized, that's true. I have to keep doing this. I mean, we can't just do this one edition and stop here. People need to continue learning for them to really, they really have to be fluent in speaking. And that was how the organization was born. I mean, so after that very first edition, we did the second, we did the third. I mean, then we got registered as an organization, and then really started doing things. And that was just how we got into the language space and got to even know that I mean, it's not only my language, other languages around the world are in threat of going extinct. And that was also when I learned about the International Decade of Indigenous Languages, how people are fighting to keep their languages alive. Yes, so that was the whole inspiration behind the movement.
Okay, please can you enlighten us on what you mean by endangered languages? Because I saw it when I read about you people. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so endangered languages are languages that have below 10,000 speakers.
Okay.
Right, so languages that have below 10,000 speakers are tend to be endangered. So when you have a small language community at that, and most of the time, even if you have it's like 10,000 speakers, most of the people speaking the language actively may just be those in the older age brackets, and then we have maybe the younger ones are not speaking. And if the language exists amongst other languages, other dominant languages, the chances of people speaking that language, especially if it is not in use in education or business, for other economic activities, so that the language is not used outside of the home or outside of the community. You see that most of the language speakers tend to tilt towards the dominant languages, and then it becomes a threat to their own indigenous language. So the language is tend to be endangered at that point because it's the possibilities of transferring that language
Okay.
to other generations. The chances of that is very slim. And we have some examples. Like, let me in River State we have a language like Jefata. Jefata is an extremely endangered language. I think they have below. I don't think. I'm not sure if they have up to 1,000 speakers. Yes, it's in the Upokon Koro local government area. So the language is extremely endangered. If you look at the UNESCO Atlas for languages, you see the language situation is critically endangered, and also there are little to no resources in that language for people that even want to learn the language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you convince people to come join your course? I'm interested. I really want to know. How did you convince them?
Okay. How would I say really? Okay, so I would say I was lucky. Yes, I would say I'm lucky too because like when I said the people I reached out to for the first audition, I didn't get a no. Like everybody I sent a message. I mean, these are strangers. Just people I knew online, we don't even communicate that much. So imagine me sending you a hi. Please, can you handle an Ekpeye lesson on this topic to teach people who want to learn? And you just say, oh yeah. So I mean, some person would have said no, I don't have the time or I'm not interested. But I mean, the people I reached out to, none of them turned me down. They were willing to do it. So I think I was lucky, and God just directed me to the right people that score the same thing I score, and they just keyed into it. So I haven't had a hard time getting people to key into the vision. I mean, it just kept growing on its own organically, and yeah, it was quite easy for me to get people to come on board. And I've been working with them, and we've been even getting new persons on board that are interested in this. I mean, sometimes some people reach out that they would like to be part of this, and I said why not? And we're always open to getting people that are committed to the vision as well.
So how can one gain access to your resources? You just mentioned that some people can join if they want to partner with you. So how can one gain access of your resources and to get to know more about your people if they want to volunteer or they want to be partners?
Okay, if you want to know more about what we do, or you want to volunteer or get resources, I mean, everything you need to know about the organization is on our website, www.speakekpayefluently.com. So if you want to be part of it, I mean, you can sign up to the volunteer form. And if you want to start learning Ekpeye, there's a course we created with 7,000 languages. So they have they do software from Transparent Education. So we created a course. It's just like it also has an app.
Okay.
I don't know if it's active yet, but you just have to sign up, register, and you can learn at your own pace. So we have about 12 lessons in that course. So you just sign up. I mean, it's totally free. Just register and start learning. You just see the lessons and learn. And also at the end of every lesson, you have interactive games to play to test your knowledge of what you've learned. So the link to that course is also on the website on our homepage.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, part of your objectives, you mentioned that you provide quarterly tutorials on virtual platform. Do share with us how.
Yeah, we share quarterly tutorials, but we haven't had one in a while. So how that works is we have a closed group on WhatsApp where we have lessons. So we invite tutors who come and teach, and people have the chance to ask questions and interact with the tutors as well. So the person's teach an assigned topic, and how it works is we section the classes. So we have a beginner. Okay, if for this edition want to focus on beginners, the lessons are just strictly beginner lessons, and then we have the advanced tutorial, and then we have the intermediate. So that is really how I do.
Okay. So your organization is a non-profit organization. How do you promote your cause to schools and your community?
Yes, it's a non-profit. We partner with organizations, and we have board members also support our project. So that's how we are able to reach out to communities and reach out to schools. Like the program we did for International Modern Song, the 2024, we partnered with the Young Girls Empowerment Foundation. So we reached out to them and they keyed into it and we worked together. So they sponsored going for that outreach, encourage children to take pride in speaking Ekpeye. And then we share those resources with them. So I mean, if we have organizations like this who see that, yeah, this work is important, it's easy to get them to support our cause.
Okay. So I'd like to take you back. You mentioned 7,000 languages. Can you throw more light on that 7,000 languages, please?
Oh, yeah. 7,000 Languages is an organization, it's a non-profit organization that supports communities around the world to create resources for their language, so especially minority and endangered languages. So as of 2023, I was opportunity to be one of their fellows. So every year they bring out applications that support at least 5 or 6 individuals from different parts of the world to create resources for their languages. So they will train you about to create those courses and also give you access to the platform so you can create courses for your language. So the course we have presently in Ekpeye, it was created with 7,000 languages. So we used the platform there's this software donor that gives them access to their platform, so we can create courses there, for free, and people can access it for free. They just have to sign up, and I think they're working on having it offline as well. So even if you don't have internet connection, you can log in and as well keep learning.
Okay. Can you tell us about some of your projects?
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so in 2022 we did a folk tale documentary project. So that project was a collaboration with a friend. So I randomly I connected with someone on LinkedIn. We are now friends though. So he is a linguist, and he had worked with a language community in Senegal. I think it was the Vedic people. So we connected on LinkedIn and we got talking about our work. I shared what I do, he talked about what I do, and then I started talking about the possibility of collaborating on a project and creating resources for Ekpeye. Just a random conversation, we looked up and applied for a grant and we got funding for the project. Right. So before the funding came, we have already strategized on documenting the Ekpeye folk national program. So when it came through, that was just how we just collaborated, and we went to the community. We recorded the community members, the shared stories, the songs. It was recorded, and I worked with our community chief, Chief Vincent Jerry. So he helped with the transcriptions of the tales, and we were able to get a book out of it. So the book is titled Eyolukani, which is translated as Ancient Wisdom. So in that book, we have the recorded details. We have the story all written in Ekpeye. We have
Wow, nice.
we have we have proverbs, and we have a section for just like a dictionary. So, and the good thing about this collaboration is this person is not a Nigerian. This person is from Spain. His mom is an artist, so all the artworks from that book, she did them. She did them, and we also collaborated with students of an art school. So they did the text design. So the way the book was designed for the story, most of the words were highlighted to fit like the meaning they are conveying. So even if you don't understand it, say like for example, if you see a word that it's obala is blood, it's written in red and you can see drops of blood. So it was designed that way so to have some cool effects for the reader because the text is completely clear. So I mean, we collaborated with these different people and also people from the community here, and we did that project together. So the stories from the book are on YouTube. So if you have a copy of the book and you're reading, you can follow through and read the English translations on YouTube to read along. So yeah, that's one of the projects, and most other projects that we have to outreaches, and yes, we are looking forward to doing more.
Okay. So how do I say thank you in Ekpeye?
Meka.
Yes. Thank you so much, and thanks for listening and keep being curious. Thank you, Umasoye. God bless. Thank you.